Hi, and welcome to your Power Yoga Morning Flow Ritual. Let's begin today's practice, kneeling. Let's begin today's class in a kneeling position with the toes curled under. Bring your knuckles to your temples, and as you exhale, draw the elbows in, expand the back ribs. As you inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, draw elbows in, expand across the upper back, tops of the blades. Inhale, open up. Feel on the exhalation that you're relaxing, surrendering. And as you inhale, breathe down into your diaphragm. Feel the expansion from your center. Then bring your arms down at your side as you plant your right fingertips, reach your left arm, descend your left hip as you stretch and reach. Change sides. Plant your left hand, reach your right arm. Change sides. And change sides. Come to the top of your mat. Stretch one leg back. Lift the foot up an inch up off the ground, keeping your core engaged. Take the leg out to the side. Set the foot down. Lift back up. Bring it back to center. Lower your knee and change legs. Lift up just an inch. Buttock flush. Buttock engages in and down. Core stays engaged as you take the leg out to the side. Tap down. Back up. Back to center. Now set your elbows down onto the ground. Come into plank on your forearms. Let's do the same leg movement from the plank position. Lift the leg up an inch. Out to the side. Tap down. Back up. Back to center. Change legs. Keep this exercise going for 30 seconds. Press the floor down with your forearms. Keep the reach from your shoulder blades into your elbows. Lift your rib cage away from the ground. Then hold and plank in your forearms. Walk into dog on your forearms. Lift your elbows up, downward facing dog. Hold in your down dog as you connect to your breath. Feel the heat from the warm-ups. And from the down dog position, bring your thumbs together and step your right foot up to the outside of your hand. Drop your back knee down, and as you inhale, lunge, hips towards your heels, hips towards your right heel. And then as you exhale, stretch back. Reach from your right inner foot down to the ground. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, stretch back. Inhale, come forward. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee up. Then spin your back heel down onto the ground and twist open, raise your left arm. You can have your hand flat on the ground, or you can slide a block underneath if you feel like you're hunching over. Internally rotate your arm, wrap it behind your back, hold here in a half bind or a full bind. Release that. Externally rotate your arm and reach it all the way overhead. Bring your hands down, spin your back heel up. Now before you step back into plank, slide your right heel up to your butt, slide your knee up to the outside of your arm. Hold here. Then stretch back into down dog. With your thumbs close together, step your left foot up to the outside of your left hand, lower your knee down. As you inhale, let the hips melt forward, stretch. Exhale, draw the hips back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, stretch back. Inhale, come forward. Now curl your back toes, lift your back knee up. Spin the heel down, angle the toes inward slightly as you ground through the left hand and reach the right arm up. Internally rotate your right arm, hook it behind your back, half bind or full bind. Unhook the arm, reach back up, externally rotate, stretch overhead. Bring your hand down, both hands down now on the inside of the foot. Reach from your shoulder blades into your hands. Once you have that, engage your core, slide your heel up to your butt. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Then one handprint at a time, walk your hands back to your feet. Fold forward at the back of your mat. Roll yourself up to stand, one vertebra at a time. Reach to your feet, stretch your arms up. Fold forward. Inhale, elongate your spine. One hand at a time, walk your hands out. In your downward dog position, draw the front ribs up towards the pelvis so that they're not hanging to the ground. As you draw your front ribs up towards the pelvis, stretch from your shoulder blades into your hands. Now shift the weight into the right hand. Keep the reach from the shoulder blade as you bring your left hand to your ribs. You can use your hand as you exhale to smooth your rib cage towards the pelvis and reach your shoulder blade into your hand. And as you inhale, keep that movement. Breathe into the back and side ribs more. Change sides. Plant the left hand down. Use your right hand. Smooth the rib cage on the exhalation. And as you inhale, reach and expand through the back ribs. Change sides. Right hand down. Left hand to the rib cage. Exhalation to draw in. Inhale to reach and expand. Last round. Left hand down. Now this time, sneak your feet in a little bit closer and let's add a twist. So bring your right hand now to your left shin or ankle. Keep the movement with the rib cage and the breath. So now you're using your breath to make subtle adjustments. Change sides, plant that right hand down, and twist. Plant both hands down. Step your right foot up to your thumb. Warrior one, turn your back heel down. Inhale, come up. Open to your side, warrior two. Then straighten your right leg and reach into warrior three. I'm sorry, triangle pose. What do you call this one again? Senior moment there. Then look down, bend your knee, slide your hand a foot in front of your foot, and step up. Hold there or bend your knee and reach back with your left hand, take a hold of the foot. Open back up if you're holding your foot. Bend your knee and slide into triangle pose. Externally rotate your top arm and reach it overhead. Then bring the left hand down. Spin your back heel up as you bend your right knee. Plant your left hand flat and twist. Take your right arm up. From here, turn onto the outside edges of the feet, and you can hold here in a modified side plank, getting a little bit of an outer hip stretch as well, or step your right foot back to stack on top of your left for full side plank. You can hold there or take Vashisthasana 2, where you take your big toe up with your right hand. Hold for 5 breaths, whichever one you're doing. Then bring your right hand down and stretch back into downward facing dog. Step your left foot for warrior one. Inhale, ride the breath up. Open to your side for warrior two. Then straighten your left leg, not for warrior three, for triangle pose. Bend your knee, step into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Hold there or bring your right heel to your buttock and reach back with your hand for your foot. Three more breaths wherever you're at. Stay steady. Feel the movement of the breath, the expansion on the inhalation, the grounding and cooling sensation as you exhale. Open back up. Slide back into triangle. Reach your top arm overhead. Then plant the hand down. Spin your back heel up as you bend your knee and twist. Then turn onto the outside edges of your feet. Hold here or step back into full side plank. Downward facing dog, stretch back. From down dog, hop to seated. Lie down on your back. Bring your right leg into tabletop position as you stretch your left leg out. Now squeeze your knee into your hand as you push with your hand into your knee. Feel that as they're pushing into each other, you can feel these hip flexor muscles turn on. So I want you to feel that. Squeeze, curl up, reach your right arm back. Still keep the squeeze there. And in fact, from your left armpit to your right hip, like you're fastening a safety belt of energy there. Squeeze them into each other as the right arm stretches. And then change sides. Squeeze into each other from the armpit to the hip. Now change sides. To make this exercise more difficult, you'll keep your head up and keep your left foot off the ground. Change sides. To make it a little more mellow, you can keep your foot and your head down. Change sides. Whichever way you do it, we're going to keep it going now for 30 seconds. Good. Now take your arms out to the side. Set your feet down onto the ground. With your feet down, let your knees swivel over to the left. Now feel a little bit of that memory of abdominal work as you stretch your right leg towards your left hand. Back to center. Swivel the knees over and stretch the left leg towards the right hand. Change sides. Change sides. Now for the more advanced version, bring the knees towards the chest. Twist without the left knee touching the floor. Maybe you can stretch the right leg over, maybe both legs. Back to center. Change sides. If it feels like it's going into your lower back, that's just a sign that the core is not strong enough yet. You can just keep the feet down. Back to center. Change sides, or just keep the knees together and try, instead of trying to stretch the leg. Change sides. Come back to center. Hug your knees in. Roll yourself up. And then with your feet together, like Baddha Konasana legs, stretch your arms forward, plant the hands down. As you exhale, let the ribs deflate, draw in. And as you inhale, open up and expand across your back body. Then roll back onto your back, onto your shoulders. Roll right back up. Plant your hands down. Exhale. Inhale. Roll back. Back up. Last one. On this one, we're going to try to roll up into a squat. Roll back. And then up into your squat. How'd it go? The Yugoslavian judges are giving it the 6 because it was a little shaky there. All right, so from this position, we're going to practice leaning into Bakasana and maybe even doing the one-legged Bakasana. So as you plant your hands down, lift your heels up. Exhale all the air out. And then use your bandha to lift up. Now, if you have the strength to, try to unhook your left knee, bring it to your chest. And then reset. Round 2. Go up. See if you can do it on the other side. And then reset, Malasana. So now with your feet outer hips distance apart, plant the hands down, press into your feet, and grow your hips up over your heels. And then slowly rebend, but remember those muscles you could feel right in here that were squeezing to try to push into the hand? I want those muscles to turn on to control you into the squat. They're pulling your hips towards your heels. Can you feel that? And then press through your feet and lift the hips up. Again, slowly go about halfway and then feel those muscles. They're contracting to pull you into it. And then go the other way. Press into your feet, lift your hips. Instead of pressing your knees back, you're growing your hips up over your heels. Plant your hands, step back, set the knees down, set the elbows down for head balance or down dog on your forearms. Those of you who can practice head balance, go ahead. Otherwise, with the head elevated, walk your feet in. As you reach down through your forearms, raise your left leg up. Change legs, raise the right leg. Lower that leg. Set the knees down. Point the toes back. Come into a kneeling position. Now, if this bothers your knees, you can do this from cross-legged instead. But from here, take your left hand, spin it back, plant the hand, lift the hips up, and then reach over. Set the butt down, change sides, plant the right hand, lift the hips, and reach over. Back to center, change sides. And change sides. Back to center. Then for our soup to hold, you're going to walk your hands back, hold here for 5 breaths, or go onto your elbows. For those of you who it's bothering your knees, you'll just plant your feet in front and come into a reverse plank. Or if you want to work on strength, you can do the reverse plank as well. 5 breaths, whichever one you're going to do. Then come back up, plant your hands, step into plank position, Chaturanga prep. Either position a block to support you, or if you already got a real mean Chaturanga, you're just going to lower into Chaturanga and hold 30 seconds. Otherwise, you'll lower your rib cage onto a block or your pelvis, reposition your hands into Chaturanga position underneath the elbows, engage the legs, and hover yourself up off the block an inch. Now as you hover, you should stay in a perfect straight line like it's a plank from your ankles, your hips, to your shoulders, to your ears. If you can't keep that straight line, just practice pushing into the ground while you engage your core. Push 50%, 60, 70, 80, 100. As you ramp up to 100, try to hold, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your legs. We got 5 more seconds. And then press straight up into plank position. Hold that. Move your block. And release. "20 more times." No, I'm just kidding. From here, lower down onto your belly. Clasp your hands behind your back or use a strap or a towel. Stretch your shoulder heads away from the ground. Reach to your big toes. Lower yourself down, rest one cheek on the mat. Then bend your knees and reach back with your hands for your feet. Or if that feels too gnarly on your back, just repeat that last pose. You can stay low here and just work on the quad stretch, lengthening yourself, or you can lift your shins and reach back, your call. So 3 options, whichever you're gonna do, go for it. Lower yourself down and rest the other cheek. Roll up into upward facing dog. Stretch into downward dog. Raise your right leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, bring your right leg up for single leg pigeon. Scoot your left knee back until you feel a stretch. Hold here upright, or lower down onto your elbows. If this is bothering your knee or your hip at all, just lie on your back instead and do ankle to knee pose. Come back up and change sides. Then upright yourself. Sit over onto your left hip. Bring your right leg around, cross your ankle on the outside of your knee. Wrap your left arm around your knee and twist. Change sides. Come back to center. Stretch your legs out and fold forward out over your legs. Lie on your back. Happy baby, reach onto the insides of the knees as you take the outsides of your feet. Hey Ollie. Then come into Shavasana, corpse pose. So stretch your legs out, turn your palms to face up. Set up so that you can completely relax. Then roll over to your side. And press up to seated. Thank you. Namaste. Hey, thank you for joining me for today's class. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. That way it will let YouTube know that it's a good class. I'll recommend to other people looking for yoga, and leave a comment below and let me know how it went for you. Thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.